So I just installed the MBRP exhaust on the 2019 Ford Ranger. There's the part number and stuff right there. And comes with a sticker too. And I didn't have an Allen key that was big enough to put the tip on there, but you can see it back there. There's the old one. Basically, if you have the single cab, there's only two pieces to the muffler. The tailpipe goes into the muffler, uh, and those weren't too bad. Like there's that video the guy had the 13 millimeters, the bolt in the back, and then there's a 15 millimeter at the first hose clamp, which is after the muffler, and then I just kind of slid my skimmer up past it so my head was up by the engine and just kind of held the straight pipe and just gave it like one stiff small kick and it just came right off. It popped right loose. And then I just shimmied it off. Now this one, the straight pipe, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Like if you watch the video from CJ Parts, they kind of left that part out where they pulled that off. So there's that plastic piece that's coming off this stand right here. Once you get up, this is under the cross member, this part right here. So there's like a plastic piece under this little standoff that has a rubber grommet in it that drills into the cross member with a bolt. And you keep that part and you put it on the new one that you put in there. Now, after you get that off and you get up here and you loosen up this hose clamp, this part right here is like flex tubing on the original. So you can't just like yank. You can't grab any part of this and yank this thing off of here. So it's really just this little tiny piece from here to here that you can hold on to. Because see, like this part right here, that's like an accordion in there, right? Like it's flexible. So it was really hard to jerk this off. And that other guy that did a video mentioned the same thing, and he was getting his ass kicked and this and that. So I kind of looked at it, and basically I got for my oil filters, a filter wrench, right? And I just kind of, there's a flange right here on the thing. I just grabbed it and started kind of, twisting it, and while I was twisting it, as soon as I started doing that, it broke loose and came right off. I put some WD-40 on it, let it sit for like a minute, but it wasn't bad. And then installing the new one's a breeze. I mean, it slid right on. The clamps are very easy to use. They're all 15 millimeter. The back was kind of a pain. Like, what I did is I put the first two pieces in, got the muffler all bolted in and hanging, right? I did the first part in the engine, clamped the second part, clamped the next part by the muffler. Basically, you do this part first, right, up by the engine. Then you do another clamp right here. This pipe is the first part into the muffler, and there's a standoff that goes on there. So I did that, put the muffler on, and I cranked all these down pretty good, right? So this whole thing was pretty tight, especially the end one. Like I pushed it in as hard as I could and tightened it down, tightened that one down as hard as I could. So this was just one big solid straight pipe. And then I got this one snug enough. Now when you do these back two parts, it's a real pain in the butt. You kind of got to line it up. I recommend lubing this thing up with WD-40 really good, this joint right here. So when you're in there, you can kind of twist it, right? Like, because it's kind of like a spiral. So while you're in there, you want to twist it right. So when you push it up, because you got to push it up pretty good to get this last hanger on there. When you push it up, you want that one to lay right where the rubber grommet is that it'll hang on, and this one to screw right in. So lube that up and just twist it. Get her all on there, and the clamps tighten on really good. And I don't know what size Allen wrench this is, but I'm going to find out when I go to the store. So as you're pulling them off, you got 13 mil, 15. Well, you don't have to pull these off because these aren't there. When you go to pull it off, it's one 13 mil. Then you go all the way up here for your first 15 mil, and this whole piece comes out, right? Then you got 15 mils all the way up, and that little standoff to the side is a 13 mil too. So the two that actually bolt into the truck are 13 mils, and then the hose clamps on the factory and the new one are both 15 mil. So 15 mil hose clamp, 15 mil hose clamp, 15 mil hose clamp. The standoff's 13 mil, 15 mil hose clamp. So, and it sounds great. You know, it's got a really nice note to it. I just took it for a nice drive. It sounds fucking awesome. I mean, when you shift it, it's really cool. Like when you shift it yourself. It's nice. It's not too offensive, you know, but at the same time, it's not dead quiet like the other one, or just sound like airflow, and you can actually hear the thing shift. Because I got the aftermarket Kenwood in there, so it doesn't get pumped back into the cabin for me. I don't get the sound from the engine, right, or like the exhaust getting pumped back in. All I could hear is just the exhaust coming out the back, and this thing was so quiet with the windows shut in the winter, you can't even hear the thing. I mean, it's shifting gears. You don't really even, you can hear the engine, but it's tough. So, like, I put that in the DVD player, so, I don't have that sound getting fed back into the speakers to make it sound like a rumble, So having this in here pretty much is just like having that, but I don't. It's for real. It's not fake, right? It's nice. It sounds good. It's a nice rumble. It's not all high-pitched. I mean, it's kind of deep. I mean, it's a 4-cylinder, so it doesn't sound like a V8, right? But I like it. It's nice. Didn't take a super long time to do it either. I didn't have any major hitches, So like I said, use a WD-40. You'll have a breeze.